The 12th Man Podcast. Let's talk sports with Coach Dub. The 12th Man Podcast. Good afternoon, gentlemen. It's Coach Dub coming to you live from College Station, Texas, with your 12th Man Podcast. This episode of your 12 Man Podcast is brought to you proudly by 1835 Bourbon. 1835 Bourbon, Texan made, Texan proud. 1835 Bourbon, come and take it. This episode of your 12 Man Podcast, we're going to go over your top 3 offensive and defensive performers of the conferences of the year, as well as giving you a look at your 2 user Heisman finalists. All right, folks, let's start in the ACC. Your Offensive Player of the Year, number 1, Miami quarterback Carson Beck, who went 224 of 326 for 68%. He threw for 3,103 passing yards, 27 passing touchdowns, only 8 interceptions, and averaged 258.6 passing yards a game. Coming in at number 2, Florida State Seminole quarterback Tommy Castellanos. 246 of 418 for 58%. He threw for 3,128 passing yards, 21 passing touchdowns, 15 interceptions, and averaged 260.7 yards per game. And your number 3 Offensive Player of the Year in the ACC is Georgia Tech wide receiver Eric Rivers, who had 86 receptions, 1,089 receiving yards, 7 receiving touchdowns, and averaged 90.8 yards per game. Now to the defensive side of the ball, your ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Number 1, Clemson defensive tackle Peter Woods, who had 42 tackles, 23 tackles for loss, 12 and a half sacks, and also had a fumble recovery on the season. Coming in at number 2, Miami quarterback Charles Brantley, 57 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, half a sack, and 6 interceptions and 2 defensive touchdowns. Coming in at number 3, Florida State linebacker Stephon Thompson. He had 87 tackles and 3 tackles for loss. And now we're going to throw a little bonus in there for the ACC, your Ouch Player of the Year. Georgia Tech quarterback Haynes King, who went 263 and 382 for 68%. He threw for 2,842 passing yards, 18 passing touchdowns, and a whopping 21 interceptions, which earned him Ouch Performer of the Year. Now let's jump over to the Big Ten. In the Big Ten, your Offensive Player of the Year, number 1, Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola, 260 and 386 for 67%. He threw for 3,251 passing yards, 34 passing touchdowns with only 11 interceptions, and averaged 300.8 yards per game. Coming in at number 2 in the Big Ten, Missouri wide receiver Marquise Johnson. He had 107 receptions, 1,448 receiving yards, 6 receiving touchdowns, and he averaged 120.7 yards per game. Number 3 is going to be Missouri quarterback Bo Prabula. He went 290 of 422 for 68%. He threw for 3,510 passing yards, 19 passing touchdowns, and 19 interceptions, and he averaged 292.5 yards per game. Now to the defensive side of the ball in the Big Ten. Number 1, Notre Dame cornerback Devonta Smith had 92 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and half a sack. He also added 4 interceptions and 2 defensive touchdowns, earning himself the top spot for defenders in the Big Ten on the year. Coming in at number 2, you got Nebraska linebacker Javen Wright. He had 75 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, half a sack, 5 interceptions, and 1 defensive touchdown. And number 3, Michigan linebacker Jay Sean Barham. 108 tackles, 19 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. And coming in at number 4, because it's a damn close tie between number 3 with Michigan linebacker Jay Sean Barham. Number 4, Notre Dame linebacker Jalen Sneed had 93 tackles, 21 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. And now for your Ouch Performer of the Year in the Big Ten, that's going to be Nebraska running back Quentin Ives. He had 75 carries for 201 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns, but a dismal 2.7 yards per carry. Now let's jump over to the Pac-12. Your Offensive Player of the Year in the Pac-12, number 1, Oregon quarterback Dante Moore, had 236 of 371 for 63%. He threw for 4,024 passing yards, 46 passing touchdowns, and 16 interceptions, and averaged 335.3 yards per game. Number 2 is going to be SMU quarterback Kevin Jennings, who went 267 and 382 for 69%. He threw for 3,885 yards, 37 passing touchdowns, with only 13 interceptions, and he averaged 323.8 passing yards a game. Number 3, USC quarterback Jaden Ma'iava went 296 and 439 for 67%. 3,372 passing yards, 24 passing touchdowns, 17 interceptions, and he averaged 281 passing yards a game. Now to the defensive side of the ball, Pac-12 Player of the Year number 1 on the defensive side of the ball, Colorado cornerback DJ Sure Hands McKinney had 59 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 4 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 defensive touchdowns. What a season for Colorado quarterback DJ Sure Hands McKinney. And now number 2, USC linebacker Desmond Stevens II. He had 94 tackles, 16 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 1 interception, and 2 forced fumbles. And number 3, Defensive Player of the Year in the Pac-12, SMU defensive end Cameron Robertson had 48 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 9 sacks, and he also added 1 forced fumble and 1 fumble recovery on the season. And for your ouch performer of the year in the Pac-12, looking at Colorado bus running back Micah Welch, who had 66 carries for 220 yards and only averaged 3.3 yards per carry. Now to the SEC. Your offensive player of the year is none other than number 1 Florida quarterback DJ Lagway, who went 163 and 265 for 61%. He also threw for 3,650 passing yards, 32 passing touchdowns, with only 8 interceptions, and averaged 304.2 passing yards a game. But then he added 113 carries for 709 rushing yards and 13 rushing touchdowns, giving him a total of 45 touchdowns responsible for on the year. Number 2 is going to be LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier. He went 275 of 419 for 65%. He threw for 3,797 passing yards, 33 passing touchdowns, 19 interceptions, and averaged 316.4 yards per game. And coming in at number 3, Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson, sneaking onto the list. He went 273 of 397 for 68%, threw for 3,553 passing yards, 33 passing touchdowns with only 11 interceptions, and he averaged 296.1 passing yards a game. Now to the defensive side of the ball in the SEC. Your defensive players of the year. Number 1, LSU linebacker Whit Weeks. 97 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, half a sack, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, and he also added 1 defensive touchdown on the season. At number 2, staying with LSU, defensive end Patrick Payton had 45 tackles, 24 tackles for loss, 14 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. And number 3, Georgia linebacker C.J. Allen. He had 77 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks on the season. And now for your SEC Ouch Performer of the Year. That's going to be Georgia quarterback Gunnar Stockton, who went 178 at 314 for only 56% completion percentage. He threw for 2,264 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 19 interceptions, which earned him your Ouch Performer of the Year in the SEC. Now we jump over to the last and final conference, the Big 12. Your Offensive Player of the Year is going to be number 1, Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Zone Reed. He went 319 of 405 for 78%. He threw for 4,229 passing yards, 42 passing touchdowns, only threw 5 interceptions, and he averaged 352.4 passing yards a game. And at number 2, Ole Miss quarterback Austin the Gunslinger Simmons. He went 293 of 459 for 63%. He threw for 3,727 passing yards, 28 passing touchdowns, with 18 interceptions, and he averaged 310.6 passing yards a game. And number 3 Offensive Player of the Year in the Big 12 is going to be Texas A&M wide receiver Mario Craver, who had 94 receptions, 1,346 receiving yards, 16 receiving touchdowns, and he averaged 112.2 receiving yards a game. Now to the defensive side of the ball for your players of the year. Number 1, Texas A&M cornerback Julian Humphrey. He had 57 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 2 interceptions, but 205 interception return yards, and 2 defensive touchdowns on the year, earning him the number 1 spot in Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12. Coming in at number 2 in a close second, Ole Miss linebacker Suntarine Perkins had 63 tackles, 30 tackles for loss, 18 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. And now number 3 Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12. Texas A&M linebacker Torian York had 91 tackles, 16 tackles for loss, and added a sack on the season. And now for your ouch performer of the year in the Big 12, that's going to go to Ole Miss left tackle Diego Pounds, who gave up 10 sacks on the season and left Austin Simmons running for his life. Folks, that's your offensive and defensive top 3 for the season for each conference. And as like I said, we're going to look at your Heisman finalists on the season. 2 users, Florida quarterback DJ Lagway and Oregon running back Maquis Hughes. That's your whole 12th Man podcast for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll have more coming for next season. This is Coach Dub signing off.